Hey everyone, welcome back to Crypto Cash. Thank you so much for joining me here. Hope you're having a fantastic day. We're taking a look here at Cardano, seeing what's going on. I get a lot of requests for this. Again, this is going to be our daily driver for a little while. We did talk previously, yesterday as a matter of fact, about potential of pullback to these two levels. So just keep in mind, just because it's a potential doesn't mean it's a reality. In other words, we still haven't defined our highest point yet, and we don't know if this is the highest point in which Cardano is going to go. 33 cents appears to be a 3-day resistance level, so we'll see if that holds. But truth is, if the price does pull back, these are the two levels that are most common. I would speculate the first one here, roughly 29, maybe 30 cents would be more realistic, considering we have the 200-day SMA working its way down right there at that range. Okay. So again, just some things to kind of think about. If you're new to the channel though, just know I'm not a financial advisor. I love teaching people to trade. Hope you can learn something here today. Congrats to our community members here for our Premium Plus group. This is our day trade scalping group. We got some nice profits coming in here for all sorts of things. XRP, Solana, and BNB. We're just milking the clock there for those guys. Also some nice little swing trades here too for what? Big, 59% and 53% for VET. Took about a month, and then another one took about a week for those trades. So awesome stuff. I love that passive income. So when it comes to ADA, what I want to discuss here with you is kind of just reiterate what we talked about yesterday. We're still over 70 on the RSI. Still due for a correction. Is it going to be a massive correction? No. Just a brief leg down before the next leg up. You can see here, this is a 3 on our scale here. Basically, we got a few things going on. Actually, technically, we kind of got a pretty massive double bottom. Okay, double bottom is confirmed since it broke this most recent high here with this leverage, this large amount of volume right there at that 30-cent range. So we can kind of consider 30 cents to be a pretty strong support if the price were to pull back, considering the fact that we have a lot of volume at that level, and also that we have a previous resistance right here. Okay? So that being said, though, if we take a look at Elliott Wave, we can see that we're at a 3 out of 5. In other words, we've seen 2 higher highs, and there's still a 3rd higher high to go. So the next follow suit here, and once this is done, just say we hit our bottom there, we're going to see a higher high, and then potentially an ABC pattern on the way back down. Okay. So again, still looking pretty strong here to the upside. Keep in mind, if it pulls back, doesn't mean we're truly bearish on this coin. It just implies it's a natural correction that should and needs to happen. Okay, if it doesn't happen, it keeps going up, it's going to fall down a lot faster and harder than we'd like to expect. A lot of coins are setting themselves up for that right now. And Bitcoin, as a matter of fact, is on the edge of potentially dropping off pretty hard at that 34,000 mark. If it does, coins like this will see a correction. You got to recognize that. But again, still very strong nonetheless. Okay, so RSI we've established is overextended. We take a look at the simple moving averages. Once again, that 200-day SMA is trending right there at about 30 cents. We got the 20-day SMA working itself up with this ascending trend, which is great. As long as we're on that right side of tracks, we're good to go. Okay, so truly still bullish in this trend here. Even if there is a pullback, it should be a minor pullback. Take a look at TD sequential. This is where things get interesting. Right here, this previous resistance, we were hitting a 9 on TD sequential. We have a nice little breakout pattern here, work ourselves into a wedge, and shot up from there. But truth is, we didn't have enough consolidation here at this area to warrant this next leg up, and we legged up anyways. Okay, so that really just implies that a further correction would make sense. Okay, so again, it's not like a bad thing. It's nothing against this coin at all. It's just too far in one direction. It needs to come back down to within the stratosphere, if you will, before it legs up again. All right, so again, the daily looks very strong. Do not recommend shorting against this coin. It's definitely looking good. The main reason why I feel that way is just because of the amount of volume we're seeing here. If you look at the 4-hour, there's obviously a large amount of volume that came into this coin here just a couple of days ago and has since been dissipating. Okay, now that's not a great sign with the price going up and the volume going down. It is a recipe for the price action potentially reversing itself. But a lot of times you'll see this happen, and then there's going to be a massive amount of volume that comes in right at the last second, a manipulation wick in most cases, to wipe out that previous upper liquidity level. And we don't have a ton of liquidity here, of course, above the price action. Most of it's below. So once more, we could again see that 0.5, that 28.5 cent range, retested with the price action coming down to effectively fill this lower gap. We do also have a previous fair value gap here that was unfilled between 27 and 28 cents as a close approximate, which is something to be mindful of. There's never a guarantee those are going to get filled, but for the most part, they do over time, unless, of course, there's a bullish trend. And this bullish trend, I don't think is discontinuing anytime soon. Okay, so even if we do see a pullback, I still think Cardano is going to continue upwards. We can see here, of course, nice little continuation with the ascending trend line. That's fantastic. So again, we're on the right side of tracks. All the more reason not to short. If the price does inevitably just say get over here and down below this here 50-day simple moving average, then we're going to consider that as a resistance, and the price action should start to deflate and come down as well. Okay. We'll likely see the volume dissipate at that time too, and the money flow index start to come down. Right now, RSI is at a comfortable place, right about 60, in between 70 and 50. Taking a look at the hourly, what we want to note here on the hourly is just something really quick, and we'll call it a day here for you. The open window here is effectively closing. In other words, even though we just swung upwards here on the conversion line there, or no, correction, conversion line just dropped below the baseline. That's a bearish sign. The lagging span is in the price action, implying that if you have a long position open, you should have taken profits by now. We do have a lot of support here with the cloud, so you got to keep in mind too, the price action goes sideways, could very well ride it out, continue up. So the truth is, with the price action being where it's at, this is a no-buy zone. You don't necessarily just flip to a short position because it's overextended. You absolutely wait for confirmation. So in other words, price action continues sideways, and just say the cloud continues up here, and then we start breaking below the cloud. We got 3 or 4 hours of confirmation below the cloud. That's a consideration for the price action to pull back. Okay, so again, to me, I think it's still a little premature to consider shorting, but we're also getting to this point where a long position, you probably should have taken profits by now because we're getting closer to the initial top for this wave. The third wave, or basically the second wave, if you will, with our second higher high, it's still being established, so we don't know if it could go higher, but if this is the highest point, we got to recognize we could see a pullback to these levels here. Okay? So again, all the more reason to kind of understand that there's different ranges for different situations. In fact, what I'll do is I'll update the Fibonacci levels here on the 4-hour time frame, so we kind of see roughly what that looks like here, and I'll send this out on my playout chart just so you can kind of get a little bit more of a midterm time frame understanding of where the price action's at. Okay, so I'll send this out here shortly, and just know that once again, these levels down here, roughly about 30 cents, should be a support based on the large amount of volume that we have in that range. Okay? So again, all the more reason to be kind of careful with your trades. Low leverage, low position size. Make sure you are not getting wrecked, and just make sure you use good risk tolerance. Those are all things I teach in my trading academy, communities, and signal groups, so link down below for that if you want to consider joining. We do have a few slots left available this month, and be happy to have you along. Once more, thank you so much for joining me. Hope you have a great rest of the day. We'll see you in the next one. Take care.